The new GTA Online rewards for the second month of 2026 are here, and this time, Rockstar actually delivered. After a couple of, I guess, more quieter months with a little bit of filler content here and there, we've had some underwhelming bonuses. We're finally looking at a lineup that I think overall feels worth your subscription, between the passive income upgrades, meaningful stackable bonuses, and then also one of the better vehicle giveaways we've seen in a while. I think this month gives GTA grinders, collectors, and even some casual players out there a reason to pay attention. And so as always, we're going to cut through Rockstar's fluff, break it all down section by section, starting off with the free car and ending with the hidden value that most players overlook. So let's get into it. So starting off, this month's car is the Dubocci Champion that you get included with these benefits. It's a weaponized supercar that's Imani Tech compatible, meaning you can add a missile lock-on jammer to it or a remote control unit through your agency's vehicle workshop. It's a very quick car, it's stylish, and honestly pretty useful for PvE as well as just free roam grinding, especially if you don't already own it, of course. You can claim it through the Vinewood Car Club as one of your GTA Plus benefits as the included vehicle through March the 4th. Now, of course, the Champion is incredibly expensive if you want to buy it, and so that's why having it as a $0 in-game vehicle is actually pretty nice. Of course, you got to pay real-life money, but you don't have to spend the in-game money, and that's where the real cost is pretty much incurred there. And so I think that provides a lot of value just as a benefit right there. But then we'll also move into an early access car that you can gain access to, and that's the Grati Itali Classic. GTA members also get early access to the upcoming car here. It's a retro sports car that's launching next week in game, or honestly in the next few days here. You can test it out and purchase it now with a 20% discount at the Vinewood Car Club as well. Again, this is more of a preview on a car than a straight reward, but it's still a bonus for collectors if you want to get ahead and front run the rest of the player base early. Security contracts are also paying 2x rewards through March the 4th. These are awesome. These are very quick, solo-friendly missions that are launched from your agency's computer or just by calling Franklin. The payouts are super solid here. Most fall between $70,000 and $140,000 on harder difficulties, again with that double money, and they can be completed in well under 5 minutes in most variants of missions. Sometimes you get unlucky with a certain one, or you just choose a bad mission type that I wouldn't recommend playing, and it could take you 7, 8, or even 9 minutes, but still, even at its worst, under 10 minutes for most of these jobs, and it's a good side hustle for some passive income. And what I mean by that is you'll actually have an effect on your agency wall safe, and so if you continue to grind these missions, you'll continue to stack up extra daily agency wall safe earnings, and that will never decrease, unlike some other wall safes in the game, like the nightclub or the salvage yard, for example. Now, I'm going to go into a little more detail on this particular bonus a little bit later on in this video, but for now, just stick to vehicle recoveries, recover valuables, and honestly, if you have a flying vehicle with homing missiles, gang terminations, and also liquidized assets can work as missions to play as well. Next up, all Rockstar stunt races are also going to be giving out double money and double RP this month, so this is going to include the special Lunar New Year stunt races that are tied to the Year of the Horse event from February the 12th through March the 4th. These are pretty decent for fun and RP grinding. They're not really a strong GTA money method unless you're consistently placing first, but it is an option. And then drift races are also paying out double everything, including the LS Car Meet rep, which makes this the best time of the month to farm rep if you're trying to unlock trade prices or even cosmetic items tied to the LS Car Meet. These races are going to be more skill-based, of course, but they are good for players who want some sliding style challenges here in this game. Now moving into some of our discounts, all agency properties are half off this month, including all of the agency upgrades like the armory, the Imani Tech vehicle workshop, and all decor options. This makes it honestly the best time to start those contract missions, unlock the Imani Tech, and just claim this month's free champion if you haven't already. Definitely worth grabbing if you don't own an agency yet. This month's free chameleon paint job is the pink prismatic pearl paint, and that includes the matching pink prismatic pearl wheel paint, and it's available at any auto shop or vehicle workshop or customization shop. And yes, while it is purely visual, it's honestly a very rare looking finish that I think could be worth applying to a very special build of your own if that's sort of your style. Then finally, for some free cosmetics, GTA Plus members get the green LS Golf Club Varsity jacket and pants set, and that will get added to their wardrobe automatically this month. Again, purely cosmetic, no gameplay benefits, but if you want that, that is one of the final rewards here. Now, I would like to jump into more detail on the security contracts, show you the process of playing through maybe one or two, and we'll just jump in because they are very much so worth playing, and now I will show you next up why that's the case. All right, cool. So here we are. I just spawned into my agency. This is actually set to my spawn location. I like to spawn here. I know some players now, if they have a mansion, they may prefer to spawn at their mansion, but honestly, I still like the agency because that way I'm close to grabbing snacks right here. If I need armor, I can just head on over to my armory right here and grab some. And overall, it's just really easy to also just go downstairs to my computer if I'm looking to do some security contracts or chip away at the Dr. Dre VIP contract, etc. Now, first, before we get into that, check out the wall safe. I have $110,000 ready to go, so I'm just going to collect this. And the reason I was talking about security contracts, meaning you start to accumulate passive income with your agency, you're already getting paid for the security contracts. The wall safe money is a completely, entirely separate payout that you're getting just for more security contracts that you're doing. The security contracts don't just give you the payout in the form of wall safe money. You make money for doing the security contracts themselves. If you do 201 of them, you end up making $20,000 every 48 minutes in that agency wall safe. It sounds like a big grind to get to that point, because it is, but that's still realistically, it's about 10, I would say anywhere from 8 to 12 hours of dedicated security contract grinding, and you'll end up at that 200 mark. You know, if you're like super fast and you're just at like an unbelievable god tier pace doing the missions, getting super lucky with RNG, you could probably do it in as little as like 8 or 9 hours. But you know, if you're slower, maybe a turbo casual player, like absolute giga shitter, right? Probably take you 12 plus if you're just like stupid slow. But either way, you log into the agency computer. You could do the Dr. Dre VIP contract here, but we want to focus on those security contracts. And we have a nice list here. The asset protection is one that you do not want to do. Always avoid this entirely. I like vehicle recoveries a lot because a lot of times they bring you to LSIA for a vehicle. They bring you down south to the Ballas territory. The only bad vehicle recovery is where you rescue like the monkey and the Boxville van up at Humane Labs. That's still not terrible because what you can actually do is if you have an Iron Mule, you can fly there in your Iron Mule, land it, go do the mission, take the Boxville, drive it outside up to where your helicopter is, and then just transport it back. And it'll still take you 5 minutes or over 5 minutes, which is, you know, quote unquote a slower pace for a security contract. But I still find that that's a good mission to do because typically when I get that variant, I get it on Specialist Plus difficulty. Professional is the lowest grade. It looks like we just have professional. So when you're making double money with these, like this would be paying out $77,000 right there. Asset protection would be paying out the same thing with double money. This would be paying us out $68,000. Liquidized assets honestly isn't that bad. I would choose, if I had this list, I would do vehicle recovery first, then liquidized assets. So let's speedrun. Let's do vehicle recovery. Let's see what mission we get. Hopefully it's not a bad one. And to do this absolutely as fast as possible, I'm just gonna hop on my Oppressor Mark II. But even if you don't have a flying vehicle like an Oppressor or a Sparrow, you will be just fine doing this in a vehicle. I mean, look, we have to travel 2 miles. You can't drive 2 miles to go do this. It's not that bad. Once you arrive at LSIA, you'll see the location update and telling you exactly which hangar to go for. Since we're going over here, it's usually a bike that's located in the back of a Titan plane, so that's exactly the mission that we're going to be getting. It could be an Avarice, it could be a Shinobi. Can you get a Reaver out of here too? Possibly, I think, I forget. This one actually gives you a lot of enemies to fight, which is fun as well, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I guess I'll use my AK to start. We'll just start going blasting all the fools here. But overall, when it comes to these, like, I want to show you the liquidized assets mission as well, because there's a neat little time-saving trick that you can actually do to speed it up greatly. Before I knew about that, I kind of was just like, oh, I mean, it's an okay variant, but it does take a little bit of time because you have to trail a guy. And sure, you can tip him off to the fact that you're following him and make him drive faster, but ultimately, like, it would still take some time to complete the mission. But there is a cheese to make it even faster. And so hopefully I get to show you that, as long as this doesn't take me too long, and like as long as that's the mission variant we get, because it would be a great example to showcase. So I'm just gonna go and eliminate all these guys. I want to just tell you at the end how long it actually takes to complete, but you basically just eliminate these enemies. You'll find the bike in the back here. What we need to do, okay, so this is the Avarice. Take it out of the back of the plane, open the hangar door to escape. You're gonna get a second wave of enemies that you need to fight. Not too big of a deal, because what I would recommend is just drive up close to where the hangar door button is, park the Avarice, and just wait, because the enemies are going to spawn in a moment here. So you don't want to make sure you're stuck in the animation of hitting that door and unlocking it while these guys are shooting at you, because then you'll die, you'll respawn outside, you got to run back in. It's just going to, you know, waste a little bit of extra time on a mission that you otherwise should not be wasting time on. And for some reason, wow, that was terrible accuracy by me right there. All right, so cool. Let's open up this hangar door and let's just whip it back to my agency. All in all, this whole mission start to finish should take us about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna unlock this door, get back on the Avarice bike, and I'll see you guys at the finish line. And here we are coming back up on the location of my agency to finish this job. The time I have on my stopwatch is 4 minutes and 3 seconds, and we are already back. And the major advantage of security contracts is the payout, and then the fact that it, as a secondary payout, contributes to adding it's $100 extra to your wall safe with each mission you complete, so that your wall safe caps out at $20,000. If you don't do any agency security contracts, you're not going to be making money through your agency wall safe at all, but it's still worth it in the long run. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is just the cooldown. So if you sit back at your computer, it would be great if I could just jump back in and do another. We do have a 5-minute cooldown on security contracts. So in the meantime, something good to do would be check off one mission for the Dr. Dre VIP contract. And then by the time you farm a bunch of security contracts, you'll have already completed a whole Dr. Dre contract as well. Or you could do a payphone hit in the 5 minutes. Or if you really want to min-max security contracts, you can avoid the cooldown just by completely going to story mode and then loading back up multiplayer and, you know, spawning in your agency, and you could start another. Depending on what platform you're on, I mean, that still could take a couple minutes anyway, so it's like, are you really saving that much time? I don't know, but if you want to try that, go ahead and do it. I typically will just do a payphone hit in the meantime, or do one mission for the Dr. Dre contract, and at least that way I'm progressing with other content in the meantime. You don't need to just sit here at your computer and wait for the cooldown to expire. Alright, unfortunately, we don't actually have a liquidized assets contract. I've done a bunch of them on my main character. On my alt, we just don't have that many. I mostly have stuck to like vehicle recoveries and stuff like that. But when it comes to the liquidized assets, I'll just talk about it real fast. So the mission has you tailing a guy, and he brings you to a hideout. That is, if he doesn't suspect you. If he suspects you and knows you're following him, he'll drive really fast to get to his boys. You shoot that place up, and then you plant some satchel charges and blow up the whole base, essentially. That's the mission. And so a way to save time is to go to an ammunition, and you have to, you know, drive or fly over to him and tail him the whole time, but you don't actually need to do that. You can just drive to your nearest ammunition from your agency and then access, you know, the menu where you could choose purchasing a weapon or whatever. Just buy some ammo and bring up that menu, and then back out, and as soon as you walk out of the store, you'll actually see the objective update to where the base is, where you have to go. So you can then fly right there, and that will save you a few minutes off the mission if the guy's driving really far. And so that's just a small little tip. In my opinion, that makes the liquidized assets mission a lot more worth it to do. Before I was like, well, you know, you could get unlucky with a long variant of the mission. Say, for example, like the Boxville Humane Labs raid mission with the monkey in the back of the Boxville, etc. for the vehicle recoveries. That would be the worst variant of the vehicle recovery subset of missions. For liquidized assets, you could get really unlucky too with a bad variant that brings you really far. But with that time save and speedrun trick, it makes it worth it, and now it's part of my rotation. So yeah, I think with all that said, we're going to wrap things up right here. The GTA Plus benefits are worth it, especially with the fact that you're getting a discount on the agency. You jump into some of the best content in the game, the Dr. Dre contract, which I don't want to gas up too much just because, you know, it's not like that's on bonus with GTA Plus, but the security contract benefits are absolutely major. So it's definitely something you want to take advantage of. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the benefits on offer for this month. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, amigos.